Hi there, this is my reading journal for Unit 1 for Assistive Technologies. I will try to maintain the eye contact as most as possible, but I will have to read most of it. Sorry about that. So, technology plays an important role in the lives of disabled people. Yeah, sure. It plays also an important role in other people's lives. What is interesting is that technology not only influences how people think about their own disability and how they experience their disability. Technology influences also how non-disabled people see the disability and how disability is framed in our society. The thing what I really enjoy when I read Ravneberg and Söderström, Disability Society and Assistive Technology, was an idea of postmodern social life being characterized by a domestication of technology as well as by multiple identities. First of all, technology has truly become our pet, our closest and the most intimate friend, with whom we share our deepest secrets and most of our time. Such a relationship can be lovely, steady and pleasant, but it can also make us heavily dependent. According to ANT, actor network theory, the humans are equal part of reciprocal network of connections and joining actions together with objects, machines and technologies. And if we agree with Boots and Watson's statement that technical devices are loaded with feelings, meanings, traditions, symbols and cultural values, we may fall in love. From this perspective, people with disabilities using prostheses, implants or a cool-looking wheelchair are today X-men and X-women. They are our heroes, enhancing their abilities by use of technology. Such a futuristic image has not only value as a possible Star Trek poster. According to Ravneberg and Söderström, the cyborg image deals with identity, and having multiple identities was the second characterization of postmodern social life. It is applicable for us all, no matter whether we are or we are not disabled. However, to deal with technology from a disability perspective offers much more layers we can look into. After surpassing medicalization, disability has been reconstructed from pathology to societal barriers, attitudes, and minority issues. 80 users represent a landscape of minorities with different and fluid identities, and that is tricky. For who? Especially for us, students of disability studies, who couldn't manage only with a nice and neat classification of impairments. We have to accept multiple possibilities. We have to understand that some people with hearing disabilities see themselves as having impairment. They may use hearing aids or cochlear implants to hear better and to function better in the hearing world. However, other people with hearing disability don't follow their lead. They identify themselves as being a part of linguistic and cultural minority, being deaf people actually, and they constitute a huge deaf minority worldwide. And from their point of view, assistive technologies, especially cochlear implants, represent a tool of cultural genocide. Even though disabled people are just as different and diverse as non-disabled people are, they can also function as representations of identities such as age, lifestyle, or gender. And I really like the formulation that is not a person's impairment that governs the use of assistive technologies, but rather the social practices in which this use takes place. And that was where I really enjoyed the notion of science, technology, and society studies, demonstrating that the knowledge of things, humans, and power relations cannot be separate from one another. And this interconnection leads the whole topic of assistive technologies toward intersectional perspective. One single identity category, such as disabled, cannot be used as the only analytical frame. Intersectionality make visible connections that consist of power and maintain inequality. And to illustrate intersectionality of disability, assistive technologies, and a society, I will give you an example of a deaf moviegoer. We can call him Paul, with his assistive dog. Paul would like to present himself as an ordinary spectator, a part of the cinema audience. However, he is prevented from participating in screening of new Star Wars movie from multiple reasons. First, there are societal regulations, as for example, dogs are not allowed in the cinemas. Second, there are technical standards. Movies are not screened with subtitles for deaf and hard of hearing. And third, there are access and usability measures. Deaf spectator could use an individual device with closed caption, which is great. Unfortunately, these subtitles are very difficult to follow more than 20 minutes, so Paul can't enjoy whole movie as others. These are not only examples of intersectionality, but also the examples of conflicts of the universal design that society has to face when seeking solutions. It is true that technology can be a tool of independence, but I also agree that it could be a symbol of disability and dependence, and that is why people may feel stigmatized either by the design, which doesn't fit their identity, or by lack of access, support, or information. That is why some people with disabilities may start abandoning these smart, special, and exclusive AD devices, and together with Cook and Hussey, start to turn over to soft technologies, such as the human areas of decision making, strategies, and training. That is probably my point.